Steve Urkel may be annoying, but he's always treated me with respect, and that's why he has a date tonight. And as of right now, you don't.
Hey, this is your girl BMORE, and today we are going to talk about the reading portion of this full moon in Taurus starting November the 5th. Before you listen to this, you guys should really check out part 1 where I talk about the Taurus moon and kind of what the vibe will be for these next 2 weeks until we start the next lunation cycle. The other thing is, I'll be doing a more in-depth or a very special reading for this Taurus moon where I will focus on the mythology, the fables, and the fixed stars. That will be a Patreon exclusive. So they will be getting kind of all of the good stuff and kind of the lore behind this whole Taurus thing and how that will be applicable to this full moon and what they can do to take the advantage of it or what to avoid. For this portion of this reading, this will be, again, for YouTube and for everyone. Here we will be talking about the reading portion. So how do you use this reading? It's for the sun, moon, and rising signs. You guys will be looking at this reading, listening to it, and seeing how this could impact you for the next 2 weeks into the next lunation cycle, which will be the next new moon, and how that will impact you. All right. If you do not know your sun, moon, or rising sign, I would really encourage you to plug this into plug your birth information, which will be your date of birth, your time of birth, and location of birth into a birth chart calculator. This reading is calculated for tropical, not sidereal. Although a lot of times I do talk about sidereal and at times do sidereal calculations for things, but this is going to be tropical. All right. Now let's get started. All right, now for my Aries, a lot of this energy is going to be very strongly felt, especially since this is going to be in your second house. So Taurus is all about money. Taurus is literally your second house lord. It's the second sign away. It's right after. So here we're going to see delays in income, delays in money, spending, and really things that deal with the family and the voice, the speaking voice, values, and it's going to be very, very much so important. So that is going to be the main thing. If you cannot emotionally spend, if you can come up with a budget or plan, this is going to be easy breezy for you. But if you have any delays in income, I would tell you to kind of not spend and not do the most now. Put some stuff to the side. Okay. Good luck, Aries. For my Tauruses, this also will be kind of felt because this is in the first house or the first sign. And so here, this is all about self, relationships, and really much so looking for cooperation. But unfortunately, my loves, you will not be getting that. And that is something you're going to realize. You're going to realize that you're not getting the cooperation you need. And maybe our expectations of people are misplaced. Maybe we need to reevaluate certain things and have different values. We're going to be very self-directed, and communication is very much so important to us being able to share our ideas, our goals, and our aims. That's fine. Reevaluate those relationships. Move on. Alrighty, for my Geminis, this is going to be going in your 12th house. And so this really does a lot about the subconscious, rumors, hidden matters, like hidden enemies, people that don't like us, but also things that we just don't know, whether it's like gifts, skills, or intuition. We're going to be dealing with a lot of things around rest, illness, maybe even we may even deal with like drugs in the sense of, yes, recreational drugs, but also medications, chemicals. You can maybe have a reaction to something that you put on your skin. That kind of all goes in there. We really want to be dealing with the demands of others. Okay. And so there's something that we have to figure out with our friendships and our values and how social settings really can impact our finances, and being able to listen to our intuition, into the spirit or spirits, if you believe in any of that, universe, God, all of that. So you're going to be really focusing on that. Please take care of your health. Taurus, watch out for people who Gemini, watch out for people who don't like you. Make sure you rest, drink a lot of water. Don't push yourself too hard. Good luck, Gemini. Alrighty, now for my Cancers, this will be occurring in your 11th house, and so this will deal with your dynamics with friendships. Maybe people are asking big or inappropriate favors during this time and maybe putting their burdens onto you. This can create a lot of issues with lovers and friends, and some of our plans and hobbies may be ruined, especially in group dynamics or parental dynamics. We are very risky right now. We want to take a lot of risk while also being a humanitarian and maybe even having controversial friends. That's probably why some of your plans are being ruined. But neither here nor there. Examine your goals, examine your aims, but also examine some of those friendships. We don't want to end up being a victim of our own circumstances by pushing things too hard and stomping on too many boundaries and just going where no one has gone before. Okay? Good luck. Alrighty, now for my Leos. This will occur in your 10th house. And so this will center around career status, job changes, parental duties, maybe even having to relocate, and home versus career. Here we're going to be dealing with a lot of the realms of healing, career, and the psyche. Is your career your purpose? Do you feel fulfilled in your career? Maybe you feel like you need to prove yourself or really show people who you are through your career expression or through your reputation. It may be some things we have to work on, or realize how we can work on our reputation to the best of our abilities. Okay. Good luck, Leo. Alrighty, for my Virgos, this will be occurring in your 9th house. And so this will be around the issues of life, issues with our in-laws or just legalities in general. This will be around travel. Maybe travels are delayed. The person said they was going to come, they pull out last minute. They don't come. There can also be promises broken. This can be centered around religion and spirituality. Some of your relationships, you may be wanting people to have the same philosophy or whatever, and maybe not. Maybe you're feeling a risque and a little bit of law-breaking energy. Neither here nor there. This will be some time for you to sit down and re-examine what you actually believe in life. Good luck, Virgo. For my Libra, this will be occurring in your 8th house. And so this will be dealing with regeneration, expenses. Maybe your insurance premiums have gone up, taxes have gone up. Maybe your income has gone up, documents being signed. I would say avoid anything that seems too good to be true and be prepared possibly for audits. This is also a good time to possibly receive support from work, and maybe even the idea of doing some charitable works. I have sometimes seen the opposite, but mostly it's charitable works. There is also maybe a height in popularity and sexuality or sex appeal, or some type of glamour or magnetism. Again, this could also be the opposite because of just how everything is set up for Libra. So you may or may not feel that kind of, fierce, sexy, glamorous. You might not feel that way. And that really, because of how this is aspected to Libra and how Taurus relationship to Libra is, some people may reject it entirely. That is entirely up to you and the Libra girlies. But some of you really might be in your bags, some of y'all, the Libra girls and boys, y'all might be in your bags and be feeling yourselves. Y'all might think y'all the baddest, real cute, and have fun. Not too much, but have some fun. Alrighty, now for Scorpio, this is going to occur in your 7th house. And so this really deals with other people, compromises, but this also can deal with, people who could oppose you or people who are rivals. This can also happen to spur some delayed agreements or delayed marriages. We would like for our partners to share our views, or maybe even be influenced by our partners for our views, or maybe their views are different and then they become influential. And we really strongly identify with our partners and we really want their approval. With Taurus being in your 7th house, or the Taurus moon being in your 7th house, maybe you're looking for a partner who is very soft and submissive and kind and sweet. And I love that for you. But as time goes on, because the Venus is going to be opposing your 7th house, you have the 7th and the 1st, this is going to be a little bit interesting. You want them to be submissive, but they want you to lead, but you're also soft. This is going to be a little bit of interesting things. But again, Scorpio, keep your good things to yourself. It is no one's business. Good luck. For my Sagittarius, this is going to occur in your 6th house. So for some people, this is really going to incorporate the habits, the health, taking care of yourself, work, gossip, rumor, maybe people who would sabotage or scapegoat us, and especially secrets coming out. Secrets are coming out. Now, we could have secret bad habits and or be a loner. This would be time to deal with those and get those kind of checked out. I understand here that we may be even handling other people's resources, dealing a lot with partnerships. There could be some elimination or detoxification issues. So like having constipation is like a elimination problem, having a stuffy nose, like things where it's supposed to come out, or like lymphatic issues and it's supposed to be like drain and it doesn't from the body or comes out. That could be a problem. So this can stir up health issues. This also deals with the realm of sex, and saying that sex and sexuality and being able to have sexual fulfillment is very important. And for some of you, you may go to great lengths to get sex, or great lengths to get power, or another person's power or resources that we desperately need at this time. This is a good time for research. You may be working very hard at this time or being a workaholic, but remember to take care of yourself, just because the health thing kind of is going on. So rest, drink water, eat healthy foods, take care of your stomach, all of that stuff. Okay. Good luck, Sag. Now for my Capricorns, this will occur in your 5th house. And so this deals with creativity, kids, hobbies, sports, issues with lovers and friends. This centers around pleasure, and maybe our plans of pleasure is ruined at this point. We want to go out, we want to hang out, we can't. Overall, we can be kind of like a creative genius at this time, and deal with like all of this type of creative stuff. I kind of like that. Whatever your thoughts on children, they're kind of like set in stone at this point about whatever you feel for these next 2 weeks. You may even marry for love, romance, and you may do this in spite of the adversity. So our relationships are like getting a little bit adversity. Maybe our family doesn't approve. Maybe our boo got put out by ICE. I don't know. But whatever the case may be, you want to stay with your boo no matter what. I instantly thought Monica, I should have known better. What makes you think? Yeah, that's how y'all are going to be. Kind of cute though. Kind of cute because y'all are so sassy and dry. I kind of like this for y'all because it's like, kind of like freshness. But anyway, really rom-com energy. But good luck, Capricorn. Hopefully y'all can get y'all boos out of camp. Aquarius, this is going to be in your 4th house. This deals with home relocation, domestic matters, and emotions. Maybe dealing with childhood and mother and family. You guys really need that stability and that security. And it deals with career versus home issues. Very much so like Leo. So here we're going to see things about working from home, dealing with chores. Are you cleaning properly? Do you need to pay someone to clean? I actually think it's more likely that you're going to end up paying someone to clean. Because sometimes when I see some of these placements and I can tell if someone cleans their house or not, or they pay somebody to clean, or I know for a fact that their partner or someone else in their house is cleaning more than them, because just how the placements are. But anyway, cleaning, pets, home is important. And this also can deal with the idea of leadership, maybe feeling patriotic, or even just feeling proud of your roots or your home life or your parents, etc. We can also see more success at home, or maybe for some people, I guess you could translate it as success in the homeland or the place of your birth, or just being physically in your home. So wanting to work or deal with these types of things. But overall, I can see Aquarius really just focus on that, going back home, visiting family, especially since this is November and we're kind of dealing with the last holidays of the year, where we're dealing with Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween, very cuddly holidays. So that would be nice if you can afford to like fly home, go home, or just hang out with like more valued things where we're with friends, we're family, and we just feel safe and secure. That would really work out for Aquarius. Good luck, guys. Now, last but never least are my Pisces. And so here, this is going to occur in your 3rd house. And so we're going to see communication be the main theme here. Communication issues. Sometimes there's issues with travel, issues with in-laws, education, miscommunication out of the mofo. Some of the miscommunication can be misinformation. So we're only getting half the story. We're not getting the full picture. Someone's supposed to send more documents. They don't. Just something is just never clicking. You're supposed to say more. You didn't. it's always something. So even if you have to talk longer and kind of like seem almost nitpicky, that might be a little bit preferred, because there's always going to be something. You have to ask somebody to send a copy of a copy. Try to do that. It might be hard to sign documents or take tests, because under this transit, it's kind of hard to kind of like lock into the information that you're really going to need to really be secure with all of those things. So, for the next 2 weeks, just really try to take it easy, Pisces, and try to just get as much information that you can get before making the decision, and try to just have a clear head with as much stuff. I know it'll be a bit hard because, again, like I said in my previous video in part 1, there's going to be emotions versus logic, so it can be a bit difficult, but really try to just write it out, and just collect as much information that you need. If you can slow down any type of serious thing of like signing documents, traveling, anything that's like very, very serious, or test taking, or try to push that off for about 2 weeks to give you like a little thing, so you can see what information ends up coming to you within that window. The emotional thinking, there could be a strong emotional thinking. Everything is colored by how I feel, and woo, and what was me, and woo, woo, woo. That can be a bit harsh. And then we can see a delay in legalities or laws or judgment. Overall, we can be very daring and adventurous. There can be a lot of creative communication, and maybe that's also why things are being misconstrued, because we're being too creative in our communication and nobody really just knows what the heck you're saying. So really try to keep it very direct, especially since this placement can kind of like articulate into something like theatrical speaking styles, and so nobody really knows what's going on with you, Pisces. So, and more than normal, let me say that no one knows what's going on with you more than normal. So you kind of should dial back some of the theatrical things, because remember, you want to get as much information as you can. Save all the fun stuff for some other stuff. Maybe join a theater troupe or something fun. Okay. The other thing, maybe interested in teaching. Children really like you, and so maybe, Pisces, you can find some fulfillment in doing something kind for a child. So maybe dropping off some school supplies, joining like a big sister, big brother thing, or anything. Like maybe you volunteer at your little cousin's school or something, or your little cousin about to have a field trip, or your sibling has a field trip. You decide to be the chaperone or just to hang out with them. Do something like very kind to warm a child's heart, because it's gonna be very easy for children to like you, be drawn to you, and you may not even be drawn to them, and the idea of wanting to teach them or be a proper leader or give them this type of guidance. The other thing is there's a strong avoidance, possibly avoidance for love and romance. You might not want to be bothered with it at all, and you may be reviewing some of your romantic or relationship dynamics at the time, or not wanting to socialize that much. The last thing is very strong indicators for writing, words, but they can be a too outspoken type of thing. So not only can people misunderstand you, you're very outspoken at this time. I would suggest maybe just to chill a little bit, because too outspoken, too opinionated, but also there's a lot of miscommunication and people just not really getting you either. So I think maybe just sitting on your opinions, not saying not to share them, maybe putting them in writings, journal them, but don't really send them out, because we can have misinformation and things just not really going how we think they're going to go. And people just don't really get it, so maybe we can paint ourselves in a light that we maybe don't intend to or intentionally do so, especially since we're so creative in how we speak and communicate at this time. Okay. Good luck, Pisces. All right, guys. So that was the end of the reading. Please listen to part 1, talking about the Taurus moon and just the general things we're going to have to worry about with values, families, and things that we have to adjust. Here in this reading, we just talked about how this would personally impact everyone and what houses, and how specifically this will impact the different signs. And for Patreon, they will be an exclusive where I talk about the fixed stars, the mythology, and the constellations of this full moon, and how it's really going to impact people, and what they should kind of really do with this lore, what this can kind of articulate and translate to. All right, you guys be safe, and I love you. Bye.
What a woman.